Zeus! Your son has returned. I bring the destruction of Olympus!
God of War 3 is the fifth installment of Sony Entertainment's popular God of War series. Developed by Santa Monica Studios, players take control of Kratos, the series' lead protagonist in a reality loosely based on Greek mythology. Is God of War 3's hack-and-slash adventure worthy to be counted among its predecessors, or is this mythical franchise finally losing its thunder?
Died as a god.
God of War 3 takes off where the last game ended, with the Titans scaling Mount Olympus and Kratos perched atop Gaia's shoulder. Kratos' ultimate goal once again is to kill Zeus, which proves to be an arduous task that takes the God of War on a journey from the dark depths of the underworld to the very top of Mount Olympus. Like the previous titles, this is a very cut-and-dry revenge story that serves as Kratos' sole motivation from the opening cutscene to the rolling of the credits.
The hands of death could not defeat me. The Sisters of Fate could not hold me. And you will not see the end of this day. I will have my revenge!
However, there are many other heads for the Ashen Warrior to collect before the climactic clash with Zeus. Zeus's cast of cronies consists of Poseidon, god of the sea, Hades, lord of the underworld, Hermes, messenger to the gods, Hercules, his half-human offspring, and Helos, god of the sun. Others include the Titan Kronos, a giant ice scorpion, and various other mythical creatures. In his previous adventures, Kratos is portrayed as a tortured soul who is hell-bent on killing anyone or anything that gets in the way of his ultimate goal. However, this time around, we are presented with a somewhat softer side of Kratos, which manifests itself in the carrying of Hephaestus' creation Pandora. It isn't much, but it's enough to show whatever is left of Kratos' humanity.
Pandora, no!
The bloodthirsty revenge meshes well with the hack-and-slash style of the gameplay, and while the use of Greek mythology has been warped to better suit the portrayal of our fictional protagonist, it is undeniably compelling. God of War 3 is a third-person action-adventure game in which gameplay consists of hack-and-slash combat along with interactive time cutscenes, puzzles, and a bit of platforming. While this is not different from previous installments, there have been some tweaks to the gameplay and attempts to make the experience fresh to the franchise's veteran players. Also returning in the series is the infamous sex minigame, in which players have the option to sleep with Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Players are rewarded with a sexy explosion of red orbs.
The gods have truly blessed you, Kratos.
Kratos' killing utensils include his traditional fire blades, now known as the Blades of Exile, along with the new Claws of Hades and Nemesis Whip, and the old Nemean Cestus, Bow of Apollo, and Blade of Athena. The Nemean Cestus and Bow of Apollo act as situational weapons and must be used in order to progress further through the game. However, the Nemean Cestus are effective primary weapons in their own right. Other items include the Severed Head of Helos, which is needed for discovering secret passages along with navigating dark caverns, and the Boots of Hermes, which are needed to scale high walls which were previously impassable. Weapons are still leveled in the traditional way, with red orbs collected from slain foes acting as the primary power-up currency. However, magical abilities are now tied directly to a specific weapon. The player must have the Blades of Exile equipped in order to perform the Army of Sparta ability, and the Claws of Hades in order to summon souls. The customization option is added to soul summoning, and the players are allowed to choose which soul they call upon. All other magical abilities change passively on leveling, or an additional interactive element is added to their casting. Make no mistake, this game is a linear experience, and there is only ever one way to progress. Also making a return is the game's mash as fast as you can passage opening sequences, which stopped being a novel experience about 5 hours into the first title. In order to keep players from becoming bored with monotonous hack-and-slash style gameplay, platforming and puzzle experiences are utilized as a refreshing change of pace for Kratos' regular testosterone-enhanced aggression. That being said, platforming and puzzles are often exclusively used for the purpose of breaking the regular flow and do not represent much of a challenge. One of the more notable puzzle experiences, however, is the Guitar Hero-esque segment, in which players are required to perform the God of War theme song. The boss fights also act as unique experiences that consist of different phases and ramp difficulty. If a player struggles with their current difficulty setting, this is most likely where the reduced difficulty prompt will occur. Apart from the opening sequence and the fight with Titan Kronos, the Titans are somewhat underutilized in this title, which is a bit of a disappointment considering how much they were showcased from a marketing standpoint. God of War 3 is Kratos' big debut on the Sony's PlayStation 3, and the overall presentation shows marked improvements from God of War 2. However, the real question is, how does this game's presentation compare to other current titles? The God of War's adventures are all about no guts, no glory, in which creatures' guts are spilled often in the most violent ways imaginable. God of War 3 is no exception, as this title takes Kratos' gory escapades to an even more violent level. Takedowns include the slicing off of heads, flaying of guts, and impaling of giants. Whether or not over-the-top violence is your cup of tea, Santa Monica Studios' attention to detail cannot be denied. Players watch every clinging particle of Helos' neck stretch to its breaking point as the protagonist liberates Helos' head from his body. The environments the players explore are also top-notch. The underworld has never looked this gloomy, and the ever-present sound of tortured souls adds to the realism of this hellish landscape. When Kratos makes it out of Hades' dominion, he begins dispatching the gods that inhabit the city of Olympia. As the gods perish, so does the city, as it seems that the gods are responsible for the livelihood of the world of mortals. The transformation that takes place is utilized not only as an effective visual, but also serves as a key component to the level design. Areas of the map that were once impassable have now become open to further exploration. While the game has great visuals all around, there are a few eyesores that manifest from time to time. The God of War offers a wide assortment of weapons to dispatch their enemies. However, when platforming or entering a cutscene, Kratos' gear always defaults to his traditional fire and golf blades. While this does not make the game look less desirable, it is an obvious physical continuity error that kicks the players out of their customized experience. The voiceover acting in God of War 3 is also excellent, as many prestigious actors lend their voices to the characters of the game. Some of the more notable are Corey Burton as Zeus,
Such chaos. I will have much to do after I kill you.
Rip Torn as Hephaestus,
No, calm yourself, Kratos. I knew you were up to the challenge.
Malcolm McDowell as Daedalus,
The gift of Hades, the liquid fire. That is what is first.
and Linda Hunt as the narrator.
The man, the legend, Kratos, will have his revenge.
While there are many talented voice actors in this business, the association that occurs when a player recognizes the voice of a character as a prominent actor or actress makes the experience feel more like a AAA title. One of the biggest complaints against the God of War series has been the shortness of its titles. Most have averaged between 10 to 15 hours of gameplay. God of War 3 increases the total experience to 15 to 20 hours depending on the difficulty setting. However, this is still a relatively low amount of content for a $60 title. Some could argue that the overall quality of the game increases its hours of gameplay due to replay value, but this is not the same as a brand new experience, especially since the game lacks any form of multiplayer or cooperative play. However, there are some nice bonus features on the disc that can be taken into account. Some of the more notable include the filming of the voiceover sessions and also the musical scoring of the game. A challenge mode makes a return, but acts as nothing more than a cheap attempt to extend a player's total gameplay hours by hacking away at various beats from the game. God of War 3 is arguably the best title in this popular series. Its stunning visuals and revamped gameplay offer a unique experience for newcomers and seasoned veterans alike. However, its hack-and-slash style of gameplay is finally starting to show its age, and it might be for the best that this title acts as Kratos' alleged final adventure. God of War 3 is definitely worthy of its critical acclaim, but it is not worthy of its $60 price tag. Our suggestion is to buy a used copy of this epic experience.